Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up with season 2, obviously, we're going to see an absolute ton of patch notes. This is a major seasonal update for Warzone, Modern Warfare 3, and Zombies, so we'll see gameplay changes, new content, weapon updates, everything like that. And today, we actually have a bit of an early preview as to some of the changes and some of the patch notes that will be coming with the season 2 update. Some of the studios have actually revealed certain confirmed changes and updates via their social platforms, and then also the Trello boards for multiplayer Zombies and Warzone have detailed some other upcoming fixes as well. So jumping right in, our first bit of information here stems from Sledgehammer's Reddit. They're actually surprisingly active over on the MW3 subreddit, and they recently responded to some questions about some glitched attachments and other inaccessible content. Someone said, hey, what's going on with the iron sight optic that used to be on the longbow that you unlock by getting it to max level? It's been missing from the optics tab since launch, and I don't mean the aftermarket Jack Bullseye iron sight. And to this they say, this attachment is actually intended to be released in season 2. It's a bug that it is currently visible in the UI, but we'll consider that a teaser. So for those of you trying to do some iron sight sniping on the longbow, this is something that's actually finally going to become available in season 2. Just to temper expectations a little bit, I do think it's slightly important to note they say released in season 2. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll be available right on, day 1 of the season dropping. It could be a hotfix update or a patch note update that happens post season 2 launch that does introduce this, but nonetheless, at some point in season 2, the iron sight longbow is finally going to become available. Another major update coming that we talked about the other day for the first time because they finally confirmed they are working on it is basically the entire armory being broken. Right now, if you're trying to unlock anything through the armory, whether it's a weapon or an attachment or whatever else, you're probably seeing that occasionally you go through and you complete 3 out of 3 challenges or 5 out of 5 challenges, and then it just doesn't give you what you're trying to go for and it's stuck permanently. And someone tweeted at Sledgehammer saying, hey, can we fix this? Been trying to unlock things. It's still saying it's locked. And they said, hey, we're actively investigating this issue. So this should be something that is fully fixed within season 2. It's been an issue and an ongoing problem for several days, several weeks at this point, and it's also especially important going into season 2 because we're going to see new armory unlocks in the form of all of the season 1 weekly challenge content shifting over into that. If you didn't unlock any of the season 1 aftermarket parts or weapons via the weekly challenges, those will be armory unlocks going forward. So obviously the armory is going to need to be fixed so you can actually go through and access that content. Pretty significant portion of the game is locked behind the armory, so fixing that should be a pretty high up priority. Now, next up, sort of some early changes inbound here. Something that sort of went under the radar for the upcoming season 2 update is actually the restrictions that are going to be in place for Warzone Ranked Resurgence. Unlike Ranked in the past, where it was pretty limited in what was and what wasn't allowed, there's a lot of restrictions already set up for Warzone Ranked here in Warzone 3. So Charlie Intel posted saying, in Warzone Ranked Resurgence, the following items are restricted: the riot shield, several shotguns, any one-shot sniper build, all launchers, the snake shots, the thermals, and more. They then say, note, there are also attachment parts banned, including, but not limited to, all thermals, the snake shot ammo, the dual trigger, the Jack Purifier flamethrower, the Corvus torch, the highly explosive ammo, and Dragon's Breath ammo. Full details coming in the patch notes this upcoming week, obviously. Additionally, the Haymaker, the Riveter, the Guardian, the Broadside shotguns are all banned from Resurgence Ranked. So it's going to be a very specific pool as to what you're going to be able to use within Warzone Ranked in the overall meta. Rifles, LMGs, some shotguns, and SMGs are going to be the main culprits there. I will probably at some point next week break down like a top 5 best Resurgence ranked loadouts. So if you want to stay tuned for that video alongside everything else going on in the world of COD, you already know I got you covered on a daily basis with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you enjoy this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It is always really appreciated. Next up, another thing happening with season 2 in terms of general gameplay updates is the level cap increase at long last. I feel like I've been stuck at level 250 forever at this rate, but with season 2's launch, we are going to see that level cap increase. We'll be going from 250 up to 450, so 200 more levels you can actually go through and rank up. ultimately it's not getting you anything all that crazy. Every time you hit like a 50 threshold, you'll get some new calling cards. You also end up getting a blueprint towards the end if you do reach max rank. So there are some smaller things there outside of just the base rank showing up next to your name in game, but we finally can actually have some regular XP being put towards something other than occasional event updates here and there. And then, as mentioned at the start of the video, a lot of other confirmed gameplay updates stem from the Trello boards. Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer and zombies share a Trello board that's got several new fix updates there. Then also Warzone's got its own dedicated one as well. So initially here, focusing first on some of the global issues, there's only one listed, but truthfully, this encompasses more than just what it's specifically mentioning. They say they do actually finally have a fix scheduled for the no stock attachment on the XRK Stalker. This has been an attachment that's been bugged since day one of the Stalker dropping, so quite some time now. However, there are also several just base attachments that are glitched across the board. The iron sight optic for the longbow obviously being one of them. We have that confirmed to be being fixed. The XRK Stalker no stock confirmed to be being fixed. The Ram 7's got several different barrels that are bugged across the board. There's also a visual bug with the Jack BFB where on some weapons it shows as locked, but that's actually just a glitched second Jack BFB compensator. There is one that's always unlocked in the center of the compensator list. So if you're wondering why that's bugged and you're like, okay, I did the challenge for the Jack BFB, why can't I use it? It's just because you're not looking at the right one. Scroll through the rest of the list, you should find that. But these bugged attachments that have appeared as locked for several weeks in this case, these all should be getting updated here with Season 2. Good chance, though, some of the new Season 2 weapons drop, and then they have glitched attachments. We'll have to wait and see for that, but they are well aware of some of those not unlocking, and Season 2 should amend that. They also say they've got that fix scheduled for the Storm Ender launcher, that where it doesn't interact with certain kill streaks, it should be able to take down pretty much everything in the game for the most part. And post Season 1 Reloaded, there were some issues with it interacting with certain streaks, so they've got the fix scheduled for that. They also, at long last, have a fix scheduled for the FOV bug, where you spawn in and you're at like 400 FOV. Basically, your screen is super zoomed out, your gun is super small. Sometimes it's kind of funny to play with it like that, but also it's just hard to see anything if you're trying to aim down sights, and some players just don't like that FOV. So they are finally fixing that. That's actually been an issue since day one of Modern Warfare 3 launching last year. So took a while, but this one does appear to finally be getting updated with Season 2. They're also investigating a couple of things here for multiplayer, including the time stat not being tracked properly in hardpoint within ranked play, and then also certain items in ranked play that are restricted that you can actually select, but then they don't show up in game, so it's just causing you to mess up your class setup. They're just going to update it so you can't select them whatsoever. Then on the zombie side of things, we only have one guaranteed fix scheduled, and that's some visual effects on your HUD when you're using akimbo weapons. A pretty niche issue, but they do have a fix scheduled for that. Other than that, the only new update that we have here is that they're investigating players encountering an issue with the fluctuation camo, but this should for the most part be completely fixed. They haven't put out a full update with patch notes saying they fixed this, but it was in the back end fixed the other day. I've seen plenty of reports saying, hey, I can unlock this now. The 10 kills without reloading challenge is working across the board. They do still have it listed here though, so in some cases you might experience it, but maybe someone in your party doesn't. A full rollout should be coming with that if it's not already fixed for you. And then we shift focus lastly to the Warzone side of things, where admittedly they haven't updated the Trello board here super frequently as of late. However, we do have a few things that by this time should be updated, considering they've been on the Trello board for quite some time. Initially, redeploy notifications. They said this way back in December that they were investigating redeploy notifications not playing. So there's an enemy in your AO or enemy dropping on your head. Stuff like that. It just doesn't play when someone's dropping in on you. By now, this should be something that is updated. They've been focusing on audio a decent bit in some recent updates, so hopefully that's one that's finally updated here in Season 2. Also, with the automatic resupply, they're still looking into issues where you're going to resupply things and it's not giving you the correct items. So if you have a knife, sometimes it gives you a thermobaric or a semtex, and you're like, wait a second, I didn't pick this up. That does still happen occasionally, so that's when they're looking into. They're also looking into several issues with melee damage, where sometimes you do more melee damage than than intended. You can like 2-hit knock a player, but then it's supposed to be a 3 or a 4-hit knock at times. It's just really inconsistent and really obnoxious in those close range fights, so that's definitely a big one. Ascenders, some of them on Urzikstan have been temporarily disabled for quite some time now, since basically early January, so we should see some updates to the overall map interaction so that you can stop glitching on certain Ascenders and they're actually in use once again. And then map distortion, this is a big one. They only have it listed for Urzikstan, but it's also an issue on Ashika as well, where you're walking around and suddenly the map's geography is just glitched out. There's some places in Urzikstan where like a whole unrendered city loads in front of you and you can't see what's going on there. There's some hills that have super glitchy like spikes coming out of them. Then on Ashika, just sometimes in the sky, that same unrendered city just spawns in and it's in your visual area there, and it's super obnoxious and annoying. So they are looking into the map distortion problems going on there as well. Keep in mind, these are just some of the early confirmations and previews into some of the patch notes for season 2. The actual extensive patch notes list for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone will be much more detailed and include even more stuff and updates. So we'll be covering all of that right as it happens on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD by, of course, hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a like on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.